Well, it's that time of the day again, guys. We are looking at Apxt stock and the current movements of the previous day and also the current day. So unfortunately, today isn't looking too great for the stock. Another day in the red, I believe. We're down by a very small amount, it's 0.8%, but it is another day in the red. If we are looking out to the 1 week chart, the 5-day chart that is, we can see the stock is actually down about 7%, and we're back down to the current price of 14.42. So obviously over the past month, things really aren't even looking good for the stock. We're pretty much flat, to be honest. Looking at the charts, we're down 1.37%, so not down by too much, but we're definitely not up. And you could be asking yourself right now, is this stock a decent buy? Is it still a buy? And is it something that you should definitely still keep your eye on? So of course, I'm going to be giving you guys my opinions based on what we have been seeing over the past few days and all that kind of good stuff in this video. If it does sound like a good plan for an episode, please do leave a like, please do subscribe to the channel. You guys know that we're trying to grow the channel as fast as we possibly can, so of course each subscriber will help us out massively. On top of that, if you want to come talk to us on Discord, link to the Discord server will be down in the description. Absolutely feel free to come and join, it's completely free, and if you want to become a channel member, you can do that by pressing the join button, which is located next to the subscribe button. Not wasting any more time, we're just going to jump straight into this video, giving all of my opinions. So guys, like I've said in previous videos, I'm going to say it again, the best way to have a quick look at this one is to look at the 6-month chart to understand it, and of course this is showing us from the end of November up until right now. So of course what we saw from here is that big hike up in price from about the $10 range, and by the way, the $10 range is kind of standard for these SPAC stocks, so it kind of makes sense it was there. But yeah, from that point we shot up to 15.31. The obvious reason for this one is the announcement of the merger, and of course that was doing good for the company, but of course the next day it sold off, and that makes complete sense. It jumped up insanely, 50% price increases in one day, so of course it was bound to sell off, and that did actually happen over the next few days. Up until the 2nd of December we were selling off. This took us down to 13.41, fair enough, and from there we saw another price hike up to around $15. I'm not really too sure why this one is for. I think people were assuming that a merger date would be announced relatively quickly, and you know what, it wasn't, so I think that's why a lot of people subsequently sold off the very next day, and I don't think it's a problem at all. Back down to the 15th of December, which was of course last month, we are seeing another price point of 13.66. Not too bad, but we can understand why. It was kind of trading around that point, and it should have been stable for some time in my opinion, but of course it did get disrupted by this big increase and subsequent sell-off. So yeah, we were back down to that $13 range at that point, and from there we took off recently. This took us up to 16.33, which hit new highs, and ever since then we have been down. And of course the last day or two has shown us extreme declines in the stock's price in comparison to what we have been seeing over the previous period. So of course, looking out to the 1-month chart, we can really get a bit of a context and a bit of a perspective over what's happened. So of course things were looking good, and I think this was going to be, or at least I thought at the time, this was going to be the start of some solid growth coming up until the merger. And this was from about the 15th, like I said, all the way up to this high point on the 24th, which was of course basically about a decent 10-day run, which took us up over 20%. So things were looking very good for this company, for this stock. Things were looking fantastic. I think a lot of people were thinking, me included by the way, I think a lot of us people were thinking this is going to be the start of where this company and this stock does pick up and reach new highs. Unfortunately, it did reach new highs, but it sold off very quickly after that, and we haven't been up since. Honestly, I don't think we've even had one positive day over the past 5 days. So yeah, we can see how this one has been moving. If we are looking out to the 1 week chart, like I said, the 5-day chart, we started off the week on about $15.50, so of course things were doing decent. We sat stable for the majority of that day with a small dip. However, the overall notion of the day was unfortunately red, mainly dominated by this part at the end. This took us down quite significantly, and it carried on onto the following morning. Things weren't looking good from there, and ever since we're basically down about 5%. Accounting for the whole week, we're down about 5.2%, so things are steep, things are really picking up when it comes to that sell-off, and you can kind of understand why. My personal understanding and reasoning for this is the fact that the merger has not been announced on an official date, and I can completely understand why a lot of investors may be selling out because of this. And I don't think it's too big of an issue for the long term, but I do think it is kind of hindering the progress that the stock can make. So, because of course, when we think about this one logically, pre-merger, there's not going to be too much hype unless we know what we are dealing with. Obviously, there are some SPAC mergers which are extremely highly anticipated. There are some, public goings of a company which are extremely highly anticipated for real and, over the top exaggerated. But this one has not been exposed as much as some of those companies. I think subsequently, the small group of investors who were in it were looking for quite a big price increase. And I think, a lot of people have kind of realised, yes, it may be the one, but it may not be the one as quickly as we think. And I think the longer that they leave the date of the merge from being public is kind of going to hinder it even more. And I think we could potentially see a few more days of dip. Not a bad thing at all, overall, in my opinion, and I am not a financial advisor, but looking at what we have seen over the past 5 days, it looks like this sell-off may hopefully be coming to an end. Now, of course, it has been a very volatile period, so that could easily change over the next day or so. But looking at what we have been seeing, things are looking like they may be slowing down. For instance, if we're looking from the 4th of January up until now, we're down about 1.26%. Over the past days before that, we were down a bit more at about 3.8%. So of course you can see that the sell-off looks to have kind of been slowing down. And I think hopefully I would like to see this one slow down. The last day is not looking too bad. So of course this is today. Things weren't looking too bad at all. We were down about 0.4%. So we are definitely in the potential region of a reverse in price. I think things could definitely pick up and go back in a positive direction, but either way I would like to see this one go positive soon. I'm not sure how long it will be, but I think if it is going to go positive, and I think if it's going to grow as much as people want it to, I think that definite date will have to be unveiled as soon as possible. I think it would do wonders for the company and the stock. So of course, if they can just release that date as soon as possible, I think it would help us out. Would I buy this one? I would definitely buy this one, but I definitely think it comes into what are you expecting from this one. Yes, we could see a lot of growth pre-merger, and we probably will see a lot more post-merger, but even then, guys, you've got to be understanding this is not one of the more hyped SPACs out there. It is a popular one, but it's not one of the most popular that we have been seeing this year, and subsequently, I don't think it's going to see as much of a price increase as we initially thought. I think $25 is my personal high point for this one, maybe 30 to 45 at best, but overall, I don't think it was as high as we initially thought. Overall, though, I think it's still a decent opportunity stock to get a bit of growth into the next few months. So I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye until then.